In this week's episode of the Safe Money Retirement Show, we are going to look at a recent study that was done that shows what people say are the benefits of having a guaranteed lifetime annuity. You're going to want to stay tuned for this. Let's roll.
Welcome to the Safe Money Retirement Show with your host, certified financial fiduciary, Tim Wood. Tim is a retirement and income planning expert, best-selling author of Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, member of the exclusive Ed Slott Master Elite IRA Advisor Group, and founder of SafeMoneyRetirement.com. Tim uses an education-first approach with clients nationwide to ensure they understand their choices in planning their own safe money retirement. Tim focuses on wealth management, retirement income, tax and long-term care planning, and asset protection and growth strategies. And now, from the Safe Money Retirement Studio in Johnson City, Tennessee, your host, Tim Wood.
All of my long-term listeners have heard me say retirement is all about income. Assets bring stress in retirement. Income brings happiness. Well, there's now been a study that was just done in 2024 that proves that. It was done by BlackRock, which is an investment company that doesn't even do annuities. So the fact that they're coming back saying that annuities are a good thing, it's going to be really interesting and something that you're going to want to check out. So first, before I jump into that, if you don't already have a copy of my book, Safe Money Retirement, I really suggest you call and get your copy right now. We will send you one absolutely free, no obligation. Just give us a call, 833-413-SAFE. That's 833-413-7233. Or simply log right onto our website, safemoneyretirement.com. You can register for your free copy right there, no problem. All right. So I've got, it's from BlackRock. It's actually a research that was done by Greenwald Research. It was actually a survey of 1,025 consumers who own an annuity that provides guaranteed lifetime income. All of these people were at least 60 years old and purchased the annuity with at least $75,000. So that's what we're looking at. So what were the results when they came back and were talking to these people? Now, again, this is coming from BlackRock. Those of you who know who BlackRock is, then I don't need to explain. But if you don't, they are an investment firm. They're a great one. But that's all they do is they do investments. They don't do annuities. So basically what came back, there's a lot of things we're going to go over through here. But basically one of the things that came back is baby boomers said that of those that were already retired, 85% of them say lifetime income makes a bigger difference than they thought it would in retirement. In other words, 85% of the people thought, well, income's not going to be that important in retirement. Must not have been listening to me for a long time. But they have found that it is. And essentially the conclusion, I'm going to start with the conclusion and then we're going to unpack it a little bit. The conclusion is that guaranteed lifetime help people achieve success and security in retirement. And 88% of annuity owners that they surveyed think every retiree's portfolio should have at least some money invested in a product that guarantees lifetime income. And 81% say it's more important for today's retirees than it was for previous generations' retirement. So the numbers are really stacking up in favor of the annuities. Now, there are 5 key values that emerged from this study that BlackRock had conducted last year. So let's go through each one of these and unpack it a little bit. Number one, what's the number one thing that came back is that longer lives and more peace of mind are what actually people are experiencing. So people are living longer, and that should be a good thing too, but annuity owners seem to think that it is because essentially they get peace of mind that their savings won't run out, they get more assurance that essential expenses will be covered for life, and they get extra protection in case they live a long life. So what does that mean? Well, if you were just taking a certain amount out of your account, if the market were to go down or if you were to live too long of a life, you could run out of money. With these lifetime income annuities, you never have to worry about that. So it allows you to have more peace of mind, which in turn can help you live a longer life. Less stress, knowing that that income check is coming, and It's helped people live longer lives and help healthier and happier lives. That's what I should say. Number two, with a guarantee, this kind of is very similar to the first one. With a guarantee, there's less financial stress. So the number one financial fear is outliving your money, and 97% of annuity owners say their annuities help them worry less about running out of money. Don't run out of money before you run out of life. Y'all hear me say this all the time. Well, people that actually own these products I'm talking about, 97% of them say that they worry less about running out of money than they did before. Now, what about the other 3%? Well, that may be the people that have 5, 10, 20 million dollars and they don't really have to worry about it. But for most people, this makes a huge, massive difference in their bottom line, in their happiness, and just having less stress. And we all know as you get older, having less stress is more and more and more important the older that you get. So that's number two. Number three, with greater uncertainty, they want more security. So what that's saying is volatile, uncertain economy can also affect financial futures, and 88% of annuity owners say their annuities help ease worries about the possibility of a stock market turn down. So essentially 88% of the people that were surveyed that have these products feel like it has helped to alleviate a lot of their stress and a lot of their worries because they don't have to worry about a market turn down. It's something that you hear me talk about all the time is don't lose everything that you've saved your entire life for your retirement because that could happen in the market. And another real quick thing, y'all have heard me say this before many times, what a lot of people don't realize in the market, if you lose 50% in the market, you've now got to have 100% growth just to get back to where you were. If you lose 30% in the market, you've got to have a 42% growth just to get back to where you were. Real numbers, you got $100,000 in a plan, you lose 30%, pretty simple math, you're down to 70. Well, most people say, oh, I'll get that 30% back. Okay, great. You get 30% back on 70, that puts you only to 91. So if you want to get all the way back to where you were, you've actually got to have between 42 and 43%. So having that basically alleviates that fear, helps people to enjoy their retirement more. Number four, it's got more savings safeguards and less vulnerability. AARP reports that older Americans lose 28.3 billion with a B annually to elder financial exploitation and fraud, and 84% of annuity owners say annuities help people feel less vulnerable to financial fraud or bad investment decisions later in life. They also are considering aging and their ability to make financial decisions, and 92% say that an annuity makes it easier to manage once they get older, simply because things get harder to manage once you get older, and annuities are extremely easy to manage, especially these income annuities, because once you turn on the income, it just pays you for as long as you live. So it makes it very simple. Even if you unfortunately get dementia or whatever, those checks are just going to keep coming to you and your spouse. So, and number five, steady income allows you to spend more. So retirees do not like spending down their nest eggs. Annuities help those spending fears. It's what they said in the survey. So it makes it easier to be able to spend what you get when you know that check's coming next month. And then if you spend that one, another check's coming next month. It's always going to keep coming. So it allows you to keep paying, basically using the money that you've got and not feeling bad about it. Last thing I wanted to mention on here, owning one of these helps people feel more comfortable spending non-guaranteed assets if there's something they want or need to spend money on. In other words, your play money. If you know that your income is going to be guaranteed and you don't ever have to worry about not having enough to pay your bills, makes it a lot easier to have fun, to go on vacations, to do things like that. So with all of this information, makes it very clear that the people that have the guaranteed lifetime income annuities, they're just much happier. They are they're living longer lives. They're at more peace. They've got more guarantees, less financial stress. They've got more security. They've got more safeguards, and it allows them to want to spend their money more. So sit down with a financial fiduciary for yourself. Figure out if one of these products might be a good fit for you for your safe money retirement. On the golf course, one day you can be hitting them perfectly. The next day, in the water back there behind me. You know, retirement can be a lot like that with the stock market. You think you're doing great, you're having great gains, then all of a sudden there's those losses that come in. And we're talking about what you have saved your entire life for. Well, what if I told you there was a way to get past that? What if I told you there was a way to protect everything that you've saved over the last 30, 40, 50 years and never have to worry about market losses again? What if I told you there was a way for you and your spouse to get an income you cannot outlive? What if I told you there were some long-term care benefits built into these products? Well, I can show you how they work, and you can see for yourself in the free book you can get below, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success. I wrote this for you so you can understand what you can really do to protect your retirement. My dad lost over 75% of his retirement in the first 4 years he was retired. I do not want that to happen to you. Download this free resource, and we'll be in touch. In today's case file, we are going to look at the story of Jenny. Now, Jenny was in her mid-60s, had recently, unfortunately, had been widowed, had multiple children, and wanted to make sure, her biggest concern was she wanted to make sure they were taken care of when she passed. So, in making sure her legacy was handed down to them and that they were taken care of when she passed. So what did we do for her? Essentially what we did, she inherited everything from her husband, obviously. When he passed, he had 401ks, IRAs, and he actually also had a pension. So what we did for her, the most efficient way by far to pass wealth is through simple, regular old life insurance. So what we did for her was we actually put her in to a whole life policy. Now, what does that mean? There are different types of policies as far as life insurance goes. Y'all have heard me talk about this before. There is term life insurance, which is exactly what it sounds like. It goes for a certain term, or another way to look at it is it terminates at the end of a certain period of time, or there's whole life that goes for the rest of your life. She didn't want to do a term policy. She wanted to have something that she knew was going to be there no matter what, because if you do a 10-year term and you live 10 years and 2 days, guess what? It's not going to pay any benefits. So she wanted to have a policy that she knew was going to be there, that was going to be able to take care of her kids, and that's what we got her into. And we got her into a plan that not only is it going to provide for her children and make sure that they get what she wanted them to have, she did this as a single premium policy, so it's not something that she has to make continual payments on. We did it as a single premium, so it was a one and done type thing. But it also included a long-term care benefit that she wasn't even necessarily counting on, but it's a great benefit that if she ever gets in a long-term care situation, she can use a portion of that benefit that she's got from the life insurance policy to help her pay for long-term care so her kids won't have to. It may take some of their inheritance away, but then they won't have to be paying for mom to be in a facility. She left. She was literally almost ecstatic when she left because she was so happy. She knows her kids are taken care of. And one thing she wasn't even planning on, if she ever got in a long-term care situation, she'd be taken care of. Now, how can this relate to you? Maybe you have kids that you are wanting to make sure they are taken care of when you're gone. Well, if you pass them something in a 401k, an IRA, a TSP, any of these pre-tax type of accounts, just know that they are going to have to pay the taxes on those. The only type of account they're not going to have to pay tax on is if you have it in a Roth plan, which is why I work with a lot of my clients on doing Roth conversions and getting those taxes paid for now. But what we can do is we figure out how we want to do it. But life insurance is typically by far the smartest way to move money to the next generation because most of the time you can buy it for pennies on the dollar. I had a client that got $1 million coverage that's going to pay to his kids when he's gone, cost him about $220,000. Now rates change all the time and it's depending on his age and his financial status and everything. But different people all obviously qualify for different rates, obviously, but it's always less than the face amount. So for pennies on the dollar, sometimes dimes or quarters on the dollar, but still less than the full amount, you can get a life insurance policy that can pay your heirs whatever it is that you're wanting them to have, whether it's $100,000, whether it's just enough to bury you $20,000, or whether it's $2 million. We can get you into a plan that can get them what you want them to have. And like I mentioned before with this lady, there are benefits that you can get in these products, and one of them is a long-term care benefit that can be in there in some of these products that you can actually use the money if you get in a long-term care situation. In some of these plans, you also can just take a loan from it, an interest-free loan. If you need some money later in retirement, you can literally take a loan from your own life insurance plan. Now, are there times when term life insurance makes sense? Absolutely. Do I do that? Quite often, yes, because it's a lot cheaper. We have to sit down, we have to figure out what's going to be the best plan for you specifically, for your specific situation, so you can live your best retirement. Well, I'm about out of time, and I would like to thank you for listening to the Safe Money Retirement Show. If you're serious about your financial future, give me a call, and together we'll get your retirement savings on the fast track to accumulate while reducing exposure to market loss. Thanks for listening, and until next time at the same time, I'm Tim Wood reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
You've been listening to the Safe Money Retirement Show with your host, Tim Wood. Find out how to contractually guarantee that your income in retirement is guaranteed lifetime income and not if-come. Avoid any future market losses, plan for the potential of long-term care, and make wise tax planning choices so you can have the retirement that you deserve. Call us now for your free copy of Tim's best-selling book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success. Call 833-413-SAFE. That's 833-413-7233. Or log on to our site at safemoneyretirement.com for more information or to request your free book. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you online at safemoneyretirement.com. The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Obviously, by contacting us now, you are only taking the first step toward protecting your retirement. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified licensed insurance professional. It's important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Interest and other guarantees in annuity contracts are subject to the claims-paying ability of the insurance carrier that issued the contract. The tax consequences of annuity income should be considered with the help of a licensed tax professional. Rates and returns mentioned on this program may vary based on state availability and are subject to change without notice.